Hello, welcome back to Sabtech Online. Today I'm going to take you through how you can change a line chart, can change colors based on the cell value. And what you see on your screen is exactly what we are going to do. In case the numbers change, you'll see that anything below the target or approximately below the target turns red, and above the target turns green. So every time your data keeps changing, if this is connected to a dynamic data, you'll be having that change in color behavior. So if you want to create such a chart with dynamic subtitles that every time I change this, it shows the month where you had the maximum sales and the month where you had the minimum sales. And this is dynamic. Every time data changes, it will also keep changing. So please keep on this video up to the end. I will have a bonus for you at the end of the video. And let's go through together step by step. Feel free to pause. The workbook practice and the final will be in the description below. If you're watching this from YouTube, and you should be able to go through the video step by step. So we switch directly now to our session. First of all, we need the data. So how do we create the data? I'm going to randomize this. We use a random between. So I will use a random between. And since I want at least data between 1,000 to 10,000, for the target, I'm going to work between 3,000 then to 8,000. Close this, enter. Now, since I have my first random value, I can just make sure that it is equal, since this is going to be our target throughout. So we can make it be equal. If you feel like, or you have different targets in different months, still you can do the same. Remember, this is random data. If you have actual data already from the financial plans you have for the business, then have those figures input here. Then the actuals, still we are going to randomize the data. You can create your own random data, or you can get the data from the business or from the problem of the data set you're trying to solve. So this time I will do from 1,000 to 10,000. There we go. And I will fill this up to the end. So we shall repeat this together. Now, what we need is, we need to know what is the maximum, we need to know what is the minimum, we need to know the difference between the maximum and the minimum, and we need the target. So I will have a working table. Most of the cases you can create a different sheet where you put all your workings. That is being compliant to data analysis. So to make sure that you separate the other workings from the data set, from the dashboard, or from the final summary you're creating for your recipients. So I will go ahead and have a summary. Since my target is equal, I will just link this to the first cell, that is January. Then I'll go ahead and pick the maximum. How do we pick the maximum? This is equal to max. And we want maximum from the first month to the last. So I will select Jan to December and enter. It means that every time I recalculate this, by the way, this is a quick access tool that you get the calculate now. The calculate now is from formulas, then you have the calculate now. It means that every time you have a random, it will always recalculate. So if you want to put this on the access quick toolbar, you right click and you add it to the QAT. For now, it is there. That's why it is showing me hide. So going ahead with the minimum, this is equal to the minimum. We do the same. I'll select from the start to the end, so it will be giving us the minimum. So it is easy here to pick out which month is minimum, which month is maximum. I want to use this for the subtitle you see here, because I want to show the recipient that the month with the maximum the month of this has the maximum sales of this because I want that max. I want the minimum. I'll use the target for its own purpose. So we go ahead with the difference. This is just equal to maximum minus minimum, just basic like that. Then the ratio will be equal to the difference you've got divided by the target you had. And that's it. So if this, for the first time, this may be in decimals, please go ahead and change this to percentage using the number formatting. Now, let's switch. We are going to have our graph. So I will select the whole of this, go to insert, on your ribbon, look out for the chart. You can always go to recommended and it will give you nearly the same chart we are looking for. So I'll go with this automatically. I will enter it, bring it and position it where I need it. So the first thing to remove, you always don't like to work with the grid lines. The grid, so you remove the horizontal and the maximum if you have them. So I'll select them and remove them. We need, I'll remove this. I'll remove the legend because at the end of the day, I will name the legends on the specific chart. So for the target, we are going to put this in a dotted and somehow we gray it out such that it should not reflect so much. So I will click on that, right click and format data series. So format data series, I will get this. What are we formatting? We switch to fill and line. Now on fill and line, we are changing this to a solid color. I will give it a gray, that is. Then I will come to the width and reduce this to 1. You can put this to 1 or you can use the arrows to reduce. I can leave it to 1.25. Then I will give it a dotted like that. Then you can go ahead and yeah, that's it. Now let's switch to our actuals. So this is the actuals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to smoothen this. First of all, you can give it your custom color depending on the colors you have now. But remember, for the purpose of this call, we want to change the line chart color based on cell value. So this time we are going to work with gradient. So working with gradient, I will delete all the others and remain with only 2. Now I will name the first one, that is the top. I will select a green color. Then the bottom, I will select a red color, right? Now we are going to position this to a percentage at least nearer the target. So since we have 68, you can start with 68 or you can put it at 50. So I will decide to put this, to position this at 50 and also position the green one at 50. So when you do that position, we shall go ahead and change the width. You can reduce the width to 2. Then the most thing I will have to change is to smoothen the line. So when you look at now my chart, this is it. If I recalculate this, you see there are changes. Still, you can go ahead and make sure that you twist more on the gradient. You can have the green up to around 40. You can have the red also positioned at that is then the other one positioned at 40. Then we can add another grid which we are going to give maybe an amber color, which is that. So the moment you give that, you can see what this is. So every time I recalculate, it shows you here we are reducing, yes, we are in amber, it hits red, again amber when it is increasing. Far better than what we had in our previous one. We can make the chart dynamic or you can make it static. So I'll put the chart at the left. Then I have this is sales by month, or you can say this is, or do we need the axis, yes or no. So you can decide how you want it to be, or you can right click on the axis and give it a more tune. Now, what's the next thing I'm looking at? I don't need this border. So if I click on the border, this is it. So the border, I can say I don't need any line on the border, and the line automatically disappears. So it is upon you. Now this time you can bring like a shape. I can say let me insert a shape to make it more visible, and so you can bring a shape, reduce the corners of this shape, gray off this shape by coming here on shape fill, gray it out. Actually I can pick that gray, then I send it to the back. So I'll go ahead and send it to the back. And for the chart now, which means we are going to click on the chart, and we go on fill, no fill. We click on the chart area, still no fill. And here we go. I'll still reduce this to something that is like that. So I can go and also work on my border here. That is the line, make it a solid. You bring this to a simple blue, and here we go. So every time I recalculate, my chart will be changing with the colors I have given it. Now, what is the next thing? We need a subtitle. So since I need a subtitle, the next thing is I'm going to insert a subtitle. So how do we insert a subtitle? We are going to create a function. So a text function, that one is going to give us how our subtitle should communicate. Now, the first thing I need, I will delete this. So when you check the subtitle, is the month of September. September is a variable, has the maximum sales of that 9.6 is a variable. So how do we create subtitles? So this is the way I will create subtitles. First of all, I will want to pin out which month is maximum, which month is minimum. So let's do this together. How do we do this? I will say we are picking what is maximum and what is the month correlating to the maximum. This is equal to, I will use an X lookup. If you don't have X lookup, you can use a V lookup, you can use index and match. Check our videos on this channel to go through some of the functions of that kind. So I'll use XLOOKUP. If you have Google Sheets, XLOOKUP is free, but anyone having Excel 2021 and above, then 365, you must be having this function. So XLOOKUP of that maximum value, then where are we looking up? We are looking up this, we are looking up the target, then we are returning anything that is in relation to the month. So here I get that. What could be the error? It was not target. This is supposed to be actuals. So I will move this. This is a trick you can use to change directly what is in the formula, or you can repeat the formula. So you see what I've done? I have dragged the range directly on the actuals. So I will enter this. It is giving me a September, which means that September has a maximum. Let's do the same for the one at the bottom. So if you drag this, it is going to give you June, but there is something you have not realized, that as you go on, you'll start picking errors or not available. Why? When I click in the formula, you see that I have moved one step at the bottom because my reference was not absolute. It is relative. It keeps moving as you drag down. So how do you do that? I will drag this to again fit to the start of the month and the actuals. So the best practice is to lock these ranges. It's upon you how you need to do it, but that is always a good practice. Okay, now we are going to create our dynamic reference, our dynamic subtitles. So we start. So how do we create the dynamic subtitle? I will create it here, then we can transfer it later. So how do we create our dynamic subtitle? We need is equal to this. I put it in quotes because it is going to be a text. I will say the month of. Now after of space, close quotes, because now I need a variable, the month of September, the month of this, I need a variable. I'll put an ampersand that is and, then click on the maximum, uh, put an and sign again. That is now a variable. Then open quotes, because now I want to put the month of September has the maximum, the month of September with a maximum. Wherever the grammar is upon you, you can use any language. So the month of September, open quotes space, had a max sales of, then after of, I close the quotes, open and again, because I'm going to bring a variable. So now the variable I'm bringing is this maximum sales. Now, when I enter, it will give me exactly this. And every time I refresh, this will be changing. You see, it is May, it changes to May, and it gives me that. Now, if I want to put like this one into K, 9.3K, how do we change this? We know that we have, if we use text function and we select this, we can always give it how it should look like, the format, how we need it to look like. So I can always start with hash dot hash zero dot hash zero. That one means I need two decimal places. Then I put a comma, then I put a K. So a comma means that you have skipped the 3 zeros. You're dividing by 1,000. So I'll go ahead and close this. Now, when I close this, I'll get an error. Why? Because this format is not defined by Excel. I have to put it in quotes. I'll open the quotes here and again close the quotes here. And there you're good to go. You see now it is being written as 9.28K instead of 9277. Now this same formula is the formula I need to replace here in my variable. So instead of this H22, I will replace that formula such that it formats how H22 has to look like. So when I enter, there we go. Now it means remove this. It means now I can have this put somewhere. I can copy the whole of this. I like to always organize these at the top, but paste it as a formula, not as a reference, such that it should remain picking, because we don't need the users to see this. So remember, you're going to do this from the working file. So I will come here and put now my subtitle. How do you insert the subtitle? Select the chart. Why do we select the chart is that we need that text box to be part of the chart area. So select the chart, go to it, then insert a shape. You'll come here on the shapes, then you can insert this text box. So the moment I insert the text box, I will draw it here. Then the moment you finish drawing the text box, don't click out. It has already disappeared because it had nothing. So I have to bring it back. I have to bring the text box again. So this is my text box. Click on the edges or on its borders. Go in the formula bar. After clicking on the edges, equals to, then reference it to your subtitle. And boom, there you go. Now, this is my subtitle. What do I need? It looks awkward. I have to remove Camion shape format, remove the shape outline to none, remove the shape fill to none. And there you go. I can change this maybe to a blue or a sharp blue. Just a moment. I can change that to a blue. So click here, come and change the font to a blue, and I should be able to bring it there. Now, every time I refresh this, it changes and it shows me the maximum. So the month of July has the max of that, and the July is there. In another video, I'll show you how you want to label the maximum and the minimum. I will tag the video in the link on this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Now, let's name these charts. So how do I name these charts? It is a simple trick. I'll select the first hour line chart. Then after that, it will pop up all where the data points are. Come and select this last data point. So right click on the last data point and say format data point. So format data point, we shall get this our format. And what do we need right now is to insert labels. So we shall come to markers, and first of all, let's add data label. Now this is the data label. So after adding a data label, it means if I click on this data label and right click and I say format data label, it will bring now the format of data label. Now this time, I don't want to only look at the data label. I want to look at the value. I want to look at, if you want, you can call it a series name, but series name, it names all the other. A category name also names all the others. So I will say I will want to tag it with the value, but now it has again picked all of them. Let me cancel and do this. Right click on this, format data label, include the series name, value. Now the value I need, the maximum value I need is this. This was the line of the chart. This is the actual, and I go ahead and OK. So the moment you OK, it shows the actual here with the number. So I don't need the value anymore. I need only the naming. So when you're done with that, we are going to do this one. Right click on this, format data point. First of all, we shall first insert a label, then we format the label itself. So formatting the label, still we shall say we need a value from a cell, and for us we pick what exactly we need to show there. That is the target, and we remove this time, we remove the value. So I will remove the values. Now we have to select it again, format data label, then remove the value. So here we go. It means right now, if I refresh, it keeps moving with a line. It shows this is the actual, this is the target. So you can even go ahead and right click on these data points and you say, maybe I need them at the bottom below, or you need them at the left. Then also the target, the same thing, I need it at the left. So that's it. I can reduce that. So it is upon you whether you want to put them at this at the beginning or at the end. So it is upon you. Use the same technique, you can put them at the end. Please, this is how further we can take it. Then I will request you include the minimum here, the subtitle for the minimum, like the way how we did it here, the same way how we did for the maximum, and you should be good to go. For this file, I will include it in the description below. Please send me your email. I'll be giving you most of these documents we work with, such that you can always use them for practice. Otherwise, thanks for watching up to the end, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Give us a thumbs up if this video has been helpful to whatever you'll be using it for. Then share to friends, and we meet you in the next video. Bye bye.